Welcome to our first SVU live stream of 2022. I am Coach Kev. I am here with J Moff. What's up, J Moff?
Hi, Kev. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. We got League of Legends match here tonight. SVU versus the JMU squad. So they're going to be kicking it off here in a best of three. I'm going to turn it over to Christian Mage 4452 for some more in-depth look at the rosters, and then we'll get into the game.
Hey, Christian. How you doing?
Doing well, J-Moff. How are you doing today?
Good. So what do you think?
Oh, this looks like to be a pretty good match. SVU has gone up against JMU in the past, and we're looking at maybe the untold story of the underdogs here.
Yeah, I know SVU was seated pretty low compared to JMU, quite high. Similarly to last semester, where obviously SVU got beat pretty bad. You guys were watching that. I'm hoping for a revenge story here. I think that'd be awesome to see. How's the lineup?
We're looking pretty good for JMU. We have Sidalist in the top lane, we have Show Me in jungle. Spin for Penta in the mid lane, we have Team Luke at the 80 carry spot, and then Zambo Z over in support for today. Lando is put on the roster, but I believe he is a sub, so we may or may not see him. We'll see how that goes.
I know there's a couple boys we're looking out for here. I think it's the ADC in mid lane.
Yeah, Team Luke and Spin of Penta. Team Luke is their highest ranked player, so we'll see if that will go into the draft a little bit. As for your Knights, we have in our top lane Mr. William Edwards, Willy Wonka 443. In the jungle, we have Yoshihiro Simokoma, and his name's Pleasant Plant. Justin Hayes 5677 is the mid lane. James Baldwin Swimmer at the 80 carry. And then last but not least, and the support, we have Honey T-Bone, Mr. Tyson Toller himself. So jumping over here to the draft, what do you think so far here?
Well, we see the Oriana pick, which Justin's familiar with. We've seen a lot in the last semester, so nothing new there. We've seen the ADC pick and the jungler pick. The ADC, the Velios, a lot of potential in that character. As you were saying, that's one of their best players, so I'm really curious to see what SVU's plan is.
Well, looking so far, just looking at the picks for Team SVU, they have banned up Camille, Lazareth, and Katarina, so they're actually looking at banning that top laner mid lane to start with. As for JMU, they have banned Poppy, Echo, and Nautilus so far. And then for draft picks, we've got Oriana in the mid lane, probably for SVU, if I'm having to guess. 5677 has enjoyed the Oriana so far.
Yes.
And then it looks like we also have the support and the jungle pick for Team SVU as well with the Vi and Leona pick.
Yeah, Vi and Leona, a lot of strong jumping in power there, so we'd love to see that from our support and jungler.
Yeah, and then looks like for over at JMU, like you were saying, the Aphelios has the 80 carry, and it's going to be comboed with the Rail. So we'll have to see how that goes. Rail is a very heavy support-based champ, and her ability is to make it very interesting to see what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm curious. I from what I've heard, at least compared to they were last semester, the support bot lane for JMU here can be pretty explosive because while their best player is there, one of their least experienced players is also there. So hopefully SVU can capitalize on that. We're going to be seeing their SVU's ADC pick here up pretty soon, and we'll see what Swimmer's going with.
So, as a fellow jungler, J-Moff, what do you think about the Ivern pick to counter Vi in the jungle?
Well, Ivern was picked first, and I think Yoshi Pleasant Plant was smart enough here. I'm sure he's got a plan with Vi, very experienced Vi player. And Ivern can be bullied, but he can be pretty annoying too, right? You get a root as long as he has coming in to help lane gank. Like, that can mess up so much his presence. And he can do it from so far away. The range on that thing is great if he can land the shot. So I think Pleasant Plant's going to want to be pretty aggressive here. We've seen him do it before. And he's very comfortable on the Vi, who's been doing well this season as a character in general. So
okay, well, going back to the last two bans here for both teams, Team SVU decides to take out Diana and Dr. Mundo. Both of those are very explosive, very heavy tank based champions and very much damage based. As for Team JMU, they banned Aurelion Set. So again, more explosive damage there in that top lane, and a lot of the folks like to play those. Now, for the last two picks for SVU, we are looking at Ezreal and Gangplank. Ezreal, as we all know, as a ADC myself, I love the Ezreal pick because it's versatile, because he's got that secondary flash, as well as heavy combos, especially once he gets the Sheen on him. And then Gangplank in the top lane. Gangplank has been seeing a lot of gameplay recently because of this new mastery with First Strike, and just a lot of the versatility with this new teleport as well.
He has, and I think the top lane here from the Gangplank and Shen picks is going to be really instrumental throughout the majority of this game, because as we know, both of their ultimates can affect the global map. So, I think whoever can win top lane hard and can make use of their ults between Shen and Gangplank can have a lot of influence and sway the whole game.
And then I also want to point out that JMU decided to go into a Vigar.
Vigar mid.
Go into a Vigar mid into Orianna. So we'll have to see what 5, 6, 7, 7 can do with that.
Yeah, the mage lane.
We've got mage lane. So we'll have to see how that goes. Well, everything's all set to go. We do have a little bit of a time delay because of the spectator due. So we will be right back.
to Summoner's Rift. Until minions spawn.
All right, we are live into game one here with SVU versus JMU. Thank you for joining us today. J-Mov, looking at these teams here, I think there's going to be a scaling battle. We have Aphelios with Vhagar. We got Ezreal. We got Gangplank. What do you think about this? This could be a long game.
Could be a long game. It could be a long game, and it could be a short one too. We've got some other players on the board like Vi. Hopefully, can put the pressure on for SVU earlier. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, you're a jungler, so you know how Ivern, he either looks like a genius or he looks like an idiot at any given time. So we'll have to see which Ivern we're going to get this game. But I really think that this jungle matchup is going to be huge early. Like you said, if the Vi Pleasant Plant can do well early, get some ganks going, these champions on that side of SVU really could snowball this game.
Yeah, that's what we're really looking for, right? The snowball in any game. You see a leash here from SVU side. Looks like Ivern's doing his usual shenanigans, crossing up around over there. Vhagar and Orianna. Now, Vhagar and Orianna in the middle. How do you think that's going to go?
I think it's going to go decently well for either side. I think Orianna has better team fight, but the Vhagar, he did take the Predator, so he might be looking to roam. He's got the TP. They're matching TPs, so he might be looking to roam. And for those of you watching, SVU is on the blue side here, so they're going to be on the left of your screen. JMU lining up on the red side, so just keep that in mind here while we're watching. But yeah, I think that mid lane matchup, fighting for prio, you know, both of them can clear the jungle. And here comes a gank early here by Shomi. He does get the root, but look at that instant cleanse out of Swammer. Great reaction time, Captain Jack style by him, but that's a huge damage chunk going on to Honey T-Bone. So they're kind of in a rough spot here with the wave pushing in.
Yeah, and you know, we don't see a whole lot happening for SVU's side quite yet in the way of ganks. Might be looking for something. The other thing that we were just looking about as far as draft is concerned was the top side both having global ults.
Yeah, that is a great point, Josh. And with the changes to the teleport, Shen has really fallen into favor with a lot of top laners because he doesn't really rely on that spell in the way that they do. But he didn't even go teleport, so... And here comes a dive, possibly. There goes the Rel in on Swammer. He does eat out. The tower is shooting them, and that's first blood going over to the Rel, but second blood going over to the support of SVU. So a one-for-one trade in bot lane that does favor JMU, not only because they got the first blood, but because that wave is crashing and Swammer's going to miss all of that CS. So that is a huge play out of JMU. You love to see the aggression early. SVU does trade it back, though.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about Rel and JMU support being possibly one of the weaker links in their team. But awesome from him right there to clean up and make sure they got that first blood, so SVU couldn't get it right back.
Yeah, I was worried for Team Luke there on the Aphelios. He was tanking the tower, so that's not really what you want. Oh, here comes a 3-man onto 5677, but he does use the flash. Will escape that. So that's a good roam out of base there by the Rel. SVU kind of falling behind a little bit here early, but I think that Ezreal should be able to catch up nicely. That is going to be a rough spot for them, possibly in bot lane. All summoners are gone on both 80 carries, so I'm expecting a return visit either by Pleasant Plant showing up or by Shomi.
Yeah, and you know, you got to think that's going to swing the tide of the game in a huge way because there's going to be some actual killing happening there.
Yeah, and we'll have to see here what SVU elects to do with their jungle pathing. We've seen already maybe 3 ganks here from Shomi on the Ivern. Vi still farming up, still trying to get those levels. She definitely needs level 3 before she's even relevant in a duel. So he might be waiting for the 6, but we'll have to see what he's going to do. We do have Dragon popping up here pretty soon, but you know, early Dragons kind of falling out of favor sometimes. I'm not sure if SVU is going to try to force that, or if they're going to try to capitalize on this Aphelios not having his summoner spells. But I'd like to see Vi find an angle.
Yeah, and cleaning up Krugs again, like you said, Pleasant Plant might be looking for that 6. You know, it's a strong engage tool, high damage. You can use it to re-engage after you get on top of somebody with Leona, so that could play a lot. Down bot, we got fighting up top lane here.
Good barrel there by Willy Wonka. but he is going to lose the trade overall. That's the Shen damage, and he has the Ignite. That's the great equalizer here. He does have an unfair advantage, being able to take that without having to take TP. Here goes Honey T-Bone. He's going in. Vi should be here. Yes, he is. Vi going in for the appeal. This is exactly what we were talking about. He does not have his summoner spells. Great flash out of Honey T-Bone to clean up that kill. Can they get the rel? We have a collapse here coming from Vhagar and coming from the Ivern. So SVU is going to have to decide what they want to do. It looks like they're going to just go all in, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything. Swammer is on the wrong side of the map. He's going to go down to the Ivern. So in all, it is a 2-for-1 in favor of JMU, but I love the proactivity here from the SVU squad. Orianna just needs to maybe track the Vhagar a little bit more, or maybe try to disrupt that roam. I don't know if they're keeping track of that Predator. You know, that's a huge deal with these situations.
Yeah, the movement speed to get down there so fast. Orianna was able to crash the wave, but couldn't take a plate or anything. Aphelios even come right out of the base. And here JMU's going to get to the first dragon.
Yeah, so there's the first dragon. Going to probably go over to them. I don't think there's going to be contest here by SVU. But decent early game on both sides. We are seeing a 1,000 gold lead going in favor of JMU early. And with the scaling they have on their comp, you got to worry that that could be detrimental in the long run. But SVU definitely just needs some item spikes, and they can definitely turn some team fights. So this game is going to be explosive, I think.
Yeah, like you said, with that Orianna and Leona, a lot of team potential. The Gangplank will coming in if we can get some team fights going. So, like you were saying, not out at all. Slowly behind a little bit here at the beginning, but that's all.
Yeah, and here goes another trade in top lane. Shen versus Gangplank. They did nerf the Shen damage, but Shen's still a monster up here in top lane and doesn't have mana like the Gangplank does. Gangplank getting low on mana. Probably going to have to back off here. Add a Corrupting Potion charges. But with Vi coming up, they might be able to do something. We'll have to see what decisions the jungler here for SVU is going to make. It looks like he is going to just town, so let's reset full on top side for SVU. So, moving into the next few minutes, I think we're probably just going to see a lot less action here.
It is important to note, though, I think that top lane, our boys with globals, do both have 6 ready.
That is a good point. That Shen ult onto the rel could be humongous. Rel, a great engager, gets in there, and with the Shen piggybacking on top of it, could really make the difference in bot lane. But you got to think, Swammer should be able to get out of most situations. His flash, oh, here we go. They're going for the Shen, and this is what a great way to deal with Shen is to attack him, but he does just E out. So.
He's out, and E for an ult on GP's side, not super favorable, right?
Yeah, and that's the Vi where she doesn't have her R yet, so it's really hard to capitalize on these ganks of these people who have dashes in their kit. But a good little poking there will get Shen out of lane. CS is going across the board pretty evenly. Bot lane, we do see that discrepancy here. Team Luke with that early shove in, it was huge for him. And now JMU looking to force the Rift Herald, bringing up the whole squad. You know, they have the Shen with the ulti as well, so looks like they're just going to force this Rift Herald. They might lose a couple CS, but overall, I think this is well worth it for them.
Yeah, there's not much SVU can do in that position with so much pressure having bot lane going so well for JMU so far this game. I think they get this first Herald, and if they can snowball, like you said, the earlier these strong scaling team scales can start to scale, the more dangerous it is for their opponents.
Exactly. It only gets worse as time goes on, so that Rift Herald is going to be huge. Going to try to get as many plates as they can. I'm assuming they're going to go bot lane with that. They seem to be focusing bot lane quite a lot, so we'll have to see if they can set up a dive down there. Another trade going on in top lane. Shen's damage is very abusive early. He has the Ignite. He's going for the flash. Will they be able to trade it back? I don't think so, no. So that's going to be a kill going over to the Shen. He got that. He got his Ninja Tabbies out, and with the Ignite, it's just too much for Willy Wonka to handle right there. He's going to wish he had his ult for that one.
Yeah, for sure. Mid lane, however, is going a little bit better for SVU. I think we see 5, 6, 7, 7 on the Orianna. Got to level up on Vhagar right now, missing out on some of his rooms. But Ivern's might be looking for something here, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, Ivern looking for a cheeky little route there. He's going to donate the blue buff over. One of the advantages of having that champion. Ivern going all in with Daisy. I don't know if anything's going to come of this. Trying to turn it around to Honey T-Bone, but not going to be able to. Ooh, a good ult here out of the Orianna, but gets stunned right as it happens, so they're going to have to pull back. Here comes Pleasant Plant, though. He might want to get that Ivern. Can't quite see him yet. He does not have his ult, or he does, but he's not going to elect to use it. So Shen walk down. Not going to need to ult here. Pleasant Plant trying to kill Daisy. Might just end up dying, and yes, he's going to die. The Vhagar ult with the Ignite on from Rel. So SVU trying to counter that. Here comes all in. here from Luke. He's going to flash in and take down Swammer. That's where the cleanse is kind of a disadvantage. He doesn't have that extra heal and movement speed to fight those duels. The cleanse does come in handy against the Vhagar and the Ivern, but it's not great against a 1v1 like that.
Right. Where health and movement speed can be important. And you hope as Ezreal, hopefully your ability's up, but if not, you miss out on that movement like you were saying. The Vhagar cage being really instrumental here, allowing JMU to re-engage on that, just take their time and re-engage when things look nice after they started a kind of an uncomfortable looking gank. So really smart on their play. We see the Rift Herald come out, get used, got some plates, but I think we got a 3-minute timer, 3.5 minutes until that next one comes back up. So no objectives until Dragon.
Yeah, you definitely would like to get the full tower there with Rift Herald, but not really able to do so. And it's not like it really matters for them. They've already gotten 4 plates down here in bot lane, and they didn't even need the Rift Herald for that. So you're gonna see Team Luke. He is gonna be huge this game. He's gonna have a ton of gold. He's got a kill to his name, a couple assists, a bunch of CS, and all that plate. So here comes a gank from Pleasant Plant looking for the ulti from Honey T-Bone. Can they get onto the Aphelios? I'm not sure. Pleasant Plant's going in for him. He does have his heal, but doesn't have his flash. Can Swammer finish him? He gets a shield from Ivern, and it looks like Pleasant Plant's going to go down. And Team Luke, he's at 1 HP. He's going to survive. He does not die there. They do Channel in. They used everything on him, and he does end up living. So a fantastic attempt there by SVU, but just better defense coming out from JMU, and they're able to hold it off. 5, 6, 7, gonna try to survive this dive. He's gonna have to run away, unable to get his ult or any involvement in on that fight, and that's first turret going over to JMU.
Yeah, we saw when both mid laners rotated there, so not a whole lot's going to come from mid lane for that. Gangplank, on the other hand, did stay at top lane, so he's going to be able to grab himself a little bit after Shen disappeared. Unfortunately, first tower does go to JMU.
Yeah, and that's where you see the Shen ult really just having an advantage early on in the game when the teleport just isn't there. Doesn't have the same impact. So Team Luke going to look to try to all in Willy Wonka here. Willy Wonka might try to turn it, but he's just too strong. Building the Serrated Dirk on top of the components for his Mythic. So Team Luke, knowing his strength right now, knowing that there's not much armor or defenses on the side of SVU, and trying to take over this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's an assassin with a gun, really. Like, he's got to lead with the gold, and he's showing it.
Yeah, so we'll see what SVU decides to do here. Falling behind in the objective market and in the gold, they're going to have to wait till they can get those first item spikes. We do see the Gangplank grabbing his first item, and we'll have to see, if he can have a good ult, or maybe a TP, show up with a TP, or roam somewhere, Josh. He can still do a lot of damage, and these characters on the side of SVU still have some fight in them. The big discrepancy is there at the 80 carry role. Ezreal is going to be irrelevant for a year, it seems like. So they're going to have to hope Aphelios isn't there or plan the fight around him not being there.
Yeah. And we saw, SVU kind of trying to make that attempt on that last gank bot lane where they lost tower. Really going after that Aphelios, knowing that how much you take out of the fight if you get rid of him. But JMU knows that as well, right? And that's why we were able to get away with keeping him alive. A little bit of mid lane action here between Shen and Oriana.
Yeah, Shen really, he's got his team at. He does a ton of damage early with those base damages. He has a red buff and he has the ignite, so he's doing a lot here. Ivern looking to get that plate right before plates go off, so good heads up play by him. 160 extra gold in his pockets. And just pressure all around coming out from this JMU squad. SVU gonna have to rally, regroup here, and come up with a game plan. If they can stall until they have their first items and maybe get a good team fight, that's looking at their best shot here to get back in this game. Otherwise, they keep getting picked off. It's not gonna end well.
Yeah, they're gonna have to decide what they're gonna do about this Rift Herald. I suspect JMU is gonna be looking to press that advantage again. So is that too soon? Do you think for the SVU fight for them to look for that, or?
I think it is too soon, and I think that the Rift Herald's not really a big enough objective for them to care. I mean, this third... Oh, here comes a Hex Flash over the wall. He's going to use... he's going to get out of there, but they're going to be able to shut down. That's a huge shutdown going over to Gangplank, and he's going to get the kill. So that is great job by SVU. Good Hex Flash there by Honey T-Bone. And so Aphelios didn't have his flash up yet. So he Gale Forced out, but he could not get far enough away to survive. So great play there. They do lose the Vi in the long run, but I think that 1-for-1 trade is great.
Oh yeah, that's a scary thing when you're ahead, right? In JMU's position where you've got that shutdown gold. SVU is 100% willing to trade anybody on their team who, none of them have shutdown, right? For that, all of that money that Aphelios was carrying on him. So it's fantastic. Unfortunately, JMU was able to take that tower, so its gold discrepancy is, still pretty wide.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think, the Shen ult is down now, so we'll have to see if SVU can do something while that's down, but, with Dragon still off the table for 2 minutes, they're not really in a position to do anything. It looks like they are going to try to contest that Riptail that we talked about. I don't know if this is the best idea for SVU. The items are not online yet. Swammer going in, he's going to get annihilated. Here's the TP coming out from the Veigar. He's going to join. Honey T-Bone does not want to use his flash. Yes, he does, so he's going to flash out, but I don't know if that's going to do anything. He might just die in the long run. He's going to try to stall it out. Here comes a pick possibly, though. Pleasant Plant might be able to turn this around the Veigar. No, the cage too good. So that is going to be a couple kills going over to the side of JMU. Those kills aren't as relevant, but SVU needs to be farming up, needs to be kind of spreading this map around. Forcing fights is not going to help their cause, and now we have a Riptail running down mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, the scaling game, SVU probably wants to try and get the scaling, but you like to see them trying to push that advantage that they got after they spend the shutdown gold. It doesn't work out in their favor. We could even lose an inhib here. We'll see how this goes, huh?
Yeah, they do get the TP out from Veigar, but it didn't look like they were on the same page with that Rift Herald execution. And here goes Pleasant Plant looking to go in. He does ult the Veigar, but do they have any damage follow-up? No, the shields from Ivern are too strong. SVU trying to make something out of nothing, trying to go in, trying to get some advantage going, but the items are just not there yet. The only advantage they could possibly have is mid lane, but Orianna finally falls down, gets first death on 5677. JMU has taken over complete control of this game. They might be looking to end here.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming out. Well played by them this entire game. So many shields, I think, as well, coming up that fight. We saw, I think Ivern got a shield out, Rel did one. So SVU doing everything they can to make that fight happen for them, keep that inhib. But really, they just didn't have the damage, didn't have the gold to make the damage. So, they lost the fight.
Yeah, so Christian, what do you think SVU could do here, and what do you think in a best of 3, how do they make adjustments after this game?
I definitely think focusing more on the scaling champions than anything, but I also think that working against potentially banning out some of these better champ picks. So maybe banning the Aphelios for this coming game, or playing champions that have a little bit better. Maybe do a skill for skill comp potentially. But again, we'll have to see what happens, because it could still be anyone's game at this point. So who knows what's going to end up happening here?
Yeah, I mean, SVU's down 10k gold, most of the kills, but Soul's still up for grabs, and after that Elder, if it goes that far. I think the scaling versus scaling was probably executed a lot better by JMU's side. We'll see if SVU takes that risk again. But.
Yeah, no, for sure. That scaling comp from JMU is definitely major. Like we've been able to watch so far. We've got Veigar, and he's got the hunt for. I honestly have no idea. It's been classic so far, though. Most of my games that I've played, I've seen that Veigar on the hunter. So.
Yeah, Predator being a big factor early on, and I think that's where a lot of the focus probably needs to be for SVU. The next time if JMU decides to play another comp like this, where there could be a lot of advantage earlier on in the game, with the jungles being Ivern, and it's difficult again, like Kev was saying earlier. For those of you that remember, Ivern can either be amazing and swing games in their favor, or they can just cost their entire team a person basically and be useless. Excellent performance from Ivern here, from JVU's Ivern. Really showing us what he's made of.
Yep. Oh, there's the ult from Aphelios.
Yep.
Aphelios ult, it hurts. I personally like Aphelios because yeah, he's technical and you kind of have to figure out how the guns work in the comps and such. But when you've got that learning curve figured out, Aphelios is actually one massive champion. And unfortunately here, it's going to be game for Team SVU for that ace. So we'll be right back with game number 2. So we'll be right back.
And welcome back. We got pick ban phase, game 2. Christian's with me here. Okay, Christian.
Hey guys. Alrighty, so it looks like for this go around, they are switching sides. So Team SVU is going to get that secondary pick side. So we're going to get the last pick. Well, starting off for JMU, they've banned out the brand. That's a very interesting pick. As far as I'm aware, none of our guys really play brand.
Yeah, I really wonder where that
brand,
came from.
But brand is very versatile, and it has that damage needed for a good team-heavy comp fight. So, like, if JMU want to do a rematch with what they had previously in the last game, brand ult can be devastating.
Yeah.
All right, and then we see that for SVU, they banned the Camille again. Always a good versatile pick in that top lane. Camille's flexibility and just her mobility is just a pain in the neck to deal with for anybody, really.
Yeah, absolutely. The interesting one here, the Auction, I think our ADC's played a bit of Auction. Is that where that's coming from?
No, actually, that Auction's coming from 5677. He's been playing a lot of that recently, too.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome that we see that enough of threat for JMU to waste a ban on that. I think 7677's got a very wide very wide cast that he can pick from. So
it looks like, again, they're kind of almost for Team SVU, they almost went the exact same 3 picks again with the Camille, Xerath, and Katarina. All 3 of those are very heavy damage dealers, and between Camille and Katarina, those are super heavy flex champions that they can just get on top of you. So first pick here for JMU is going to be... It's going to be the Leona. So we see the support for Zambo here for JMU. We'll have to see what they can do. We'll see what they can do with that here.
Yeah, and I think Leona's one of those champions that can be really strong playing around your other teammates, and we saw just how well JMU can be at that. Like, there were just some really strong coordination, and Leona can capitalize on that pretty well. Similarly, we got a Nautilus pick on our side for Honey T-Bone. And
Honey T-Bone loves the Nautilus pick, so he loves the Nautilus. Nautilus is just that big time overall heavy tank champ. And then we see Orianna again for 5677. So we'll have to see what that happens. Maybe possible wombo combo there between the Orianna ult into Nautilus ult, or vice versa.
Yeah, and we saw 5677 do really well with Orianna, all of last game. Played really solid, so nothing new there. We've seen it happen time and time again. The Ivern again. Ivern did wonders for getting Aphelios ahead really last game. Really helped Team Luki. So, might be the plan here again. And then a Diana pick as well, and I think that's going mid lane, right? So
that could potentially go in mid lane on Diana, but maybe they're changing it up. Maybe that Ivern will go somewhere else. Maybe the Diana goes top lane. We'll have to find out. As for Team SVU, we see a Darius pick. This is going to be very interesting. I know Pleasant Plants has gone to Darius in the past before in the jungle. So we'll have to see if that's the play or if Willy Wonka's going to pick that up. They banned the Shen, which is a good, smart idea, so they can counter that global alt thing, or the want to protect our 80 carry comp that they did in last game too.
Yeah, which, like you were saying, made a huge difference, and I really like that Shen ban. There's a Lucian ban out from JMU's side, which, is what it is. And then a volley ban out on our side. So a little bit more focus, I think, in the top lane from this pick ban.
Yeah, we'll have to see where JMU goes with this last pick. There's still a lot of champions on the board that both Willy Wonka and Swammer could pick. Or maybe we can see a flex Nautilus. Maybe that's going to be a Nautilus jungle.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, and Darius will be in the top lane. So we'll have to see which way that goes. And we see a Swidroni. I know this one personally affects you because you like playing Swidroni, so...
I've always enjoyed a little set.
Ooh!
And we get Sivir. Swimmer on the Sivir.
Oh, there's the Aphelios for Team JMU. So we'll have to see. I love Sivir. As an AD carry, I love Sivir because she has that versatility, and she has the mentality that she can play either I want to get on top of you or I'm going to come away from you type situation, because she has that spell shield that gets the refresh on her mana, or she has that ult that let's go.
Right. And that spell shield might be huge into Leona here because Leona probably looking to do a lot of the similar things that Rel was playing around with that Aphelios. Maybe the Sivir's not going to be able to give up so much ground early, and that might make the difference here.
And then we last but not least pick for JMU, we have the Mordekaiser. So that's an interesting play there. Mordekaiser very heavy in top lane at the moment. He's got, I think, sitting around a 65% win rate overall.
Wow.
In that, and again, we see Willy Wonka on Gangplank, and that is Pleasant Plant on the Darius.
Yeah, this will be interesting, I think, from a jungle perspective. Ivern and Darius are just interesting.
Oh, maybe.
No, I don't. I think they're joking. But either way, like you were saying, it should be an interesting game. I think Mordekaiser is going to be a lot, just as much of a bully as Shen was, right? Top lane, he can be really, really mean, and he also scales very hard.
Yeah, no, this
So-
this Mordekaiser pick is definitely gonna be interesting, especially when that ult comes around for team fights, because it'll eventually turn a 5v5 into a 4v4, and depending on how that goes, we'll have to see which way you go. What do you think about this draft so far, Kip?
Yeah, no, I think, I think we'll just have to see how it plays into whether or not SVU can make themselves relevant early again or not.
Well, we will be right back for game 2. We'll give us a couple minutes, and we'll be right back with you.
And welcome back. Game 2. Got Kev back here with us. Kev, how you looking about this draft?
All right, this draft, looking interesting here. We see a little switch up in mid lane. The Diana was banned in game 1. Spin for Penta wanted to get his hands on the Diana here in game 2, so they picked that in the first phase. So we'll see what he can do with that. A lot more proactivity coming out with the Diana pick, but also a lot of risk with the Diana as well. If they get camped, if the Diana gets camped, uses her flash early, she really has no way to come back into the game. Her only option is to go in. So we'll see if Pleasant Plant plays around that or what he decides to do this game.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right. I think a squishy, weak set behind Diana doesn't provide much value. We see the Aphelios pick again, bot lane, with Leona this time. What are some of the bot side changes SVU might be looking to make here?
So we see Honey T-Bone on his Nautilus. He does like that pick. We're seeing very similar bot lanes here with Leona instead of the Rel, kind of the same look there with the Aphelios. Team Luke loves Aphelios. We saw him popping off on that last game. But SVU electing not to really ban that out. And with good AD carry players, you can't really ban them out. There's always an AD carry. They're always going to be a problem. It's just kind of pick your poison, and SVU electing to pick Aphelios as their poison for this game. So we'll see if the Sivir pick ends up being good for Swammer. The Ezreal not really working out. He didn't go cleanse this time. He went exhaust. So there's a combat summoner that we might see be a lot more useful here in these early stages in these 2v2s.
Yeah, Sivir with that spell shield allowing her to do that could be a real changer. Real game changer, especially with Leona being able to just jump on her in a moment in time. Not a whole lot of action happening yet. We've got the Ivern back again. We'll see if he does something real early again like last time, which made, I think, a pretty big impact. And the Darius, which is kind of a niche pick, I guess, in the jungle. So I'm really curious to see how the jungle matchup runs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pleasant Plant on the Darius, he's going to have to show some stuff. 5677 deters the gank there. It looks like Show Me on the Ivern, not showing up bot like he did in game 1. Maybe that was just a red side plan they had where you can loop around through the tri-bush. But Darius does have his 3 camp clear, looking into a topside gank here onto the Mordekaiser. He does go Ghost and Predator, so if you don't want to use those at the same time, typically you want to kind of space those out so you always have a way to get in for these ganks. Looks like he's not going to go for anything, but we might have a topside scuttle fight here. Ivern might just head down south, and it looks like, yes, he does not want to mess with Darius, and that's probably the right choice.
Yeah, I think that would not end well for the tree. A little bit of mid lane action, possibly shoving Diana off, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Pleasant Plant trying to find the Ivern possibly. He's making himself known, going through mid, going south side. There's the route out of the Ivern, though. He's going to be in a 1v2 situation. Orianna had to back off to get the wave, so that's first blood going over and kind of gifted to them by Pleasant Plant. He has to know that he's shown there, and unless he gets prio, he can't go down there. So he didn't help Orianna get prio. So what happened was Orianna had to step back to the tower, and then he's just in a 2v1 situation. So a little bit of miscommunication there, a little bit of bad timing there on the Darius's part, and now he's going down south to maybe contest his scuttle or his Gromp. But Ivern looking to gank bot here, coming up behind Honey T-Bone, but a great ward there. SVU might have him caught out. He does have his flash, but here comes the Predator in from Darius, and this should be a kill. Yes, Pleasant Plant gets a kill. Oh, and here comes Leona trying to salvage it, but I don't know if that's going to work. He doesn't have his flash either, so this is going to be another kill. Who are they going to give this to? Looks like it will go over to the double kill for Pleasant Plant. So he was down early, but he's not out. Here's the 1v1 in top lane. Willy Wonka going up against the Mordekaiser. Does he have what it takes to get out of this? Oh, the counter flash, but still get hit by the Q, but escapes. Great escape there by Willy Wonka, and a lot of action across the board.
Yeah, fighting happening everywhere. Blood being spilled. Love to see that Willy Wonka escape. That was really tough. And Mordekaiser can be a real bully sometimes. So not giving him that lead early, hold back the scaling. And another thing, that Diana did not get that kill earlier.
Good point.
Means, she's still same kind of similar playing level with Orianna. And Ivern's only going to be able to do so much with that money, especially this early. So we'll see.
Yeah, Willy Wonka going to collect this huge wave in top lane. Also, Aphelios getting a wave in bot side. So definitely a lot better of an early game here for SVU. They're coming out gunslinging. Darius coming back down bot. No Ghost this time, though. Can Honey T-Bone get the hook? No, he just barely misses it. Oh, so close there, but they're still going to try to go for it. They do get the hook, but Darius is not tanky yet. The heal comes through, but the Ignite is on, and he is going to go down to the Leona. Double buff's going over. Can Swammer get the kill? I don't know if he can. The pizza is flying, but it's not enough. Flashes are coming out. Honey T-Bone is going to go down, and that's going to be 3 kills going over to JMU. A good try there from Pleasant Plant, but maybe just a reach too far. He just didn't have the levels there. Level 3 on the Darius just not quite have the HP to do that play.
Yeah, when your level's a little bit down, you haven't gotten quite the items that you need, and some's maybe down as well. Can be a tough spot that you wanna make something happen, and there's a potential cost with anything. Gotta be terrified at SVU after last game, giving over 2 kills to Felios. Hopefully they don't panic. Hopefully we can play around that. But we got Dragon up now, so we'll see if some can start playing around that. Looks like Diana's taking pressure in mid lane, shoving into poor Orianna here. Darius showing up though.
Yeah. And I think with that gank in bot lane, once Nautilus misses that hook, they kind of just call it off. It's very unfortunate. It's painful to have to do that, but at the end of the day, if you miss that skill shot, you really just gotta pack up and go home. Come back another day for the gank. It's not going to work out. But here comes the engage from Diana. This is what Diana can do with the all-in potential. And that's Orianna just not able to peek down there the way he wanted to. But can Darius clean this up?
Yeah,
Pleasant Plant. And there's the hook coming out from Honey T-Bone. There we go. He is online with the hooks, but that's a good shield out from the Ivern. He's always in the right position, able to get his Diana out to safety. So that's going to be a solo kill going over to spin for Penta. And 5-6-7-7 just not respecting the all-in potential there out of the Diana.
Yeah, a great roam, I think, from SVU support there, but an excellent response from the Ivern, knowing what might well be coming. So, great job from every player.
Looks like Scuttle's coming up in bot side. Ivern peeking into Darius' south jungle, seeing if he can get anything done. He's going in. He knows that he's on this camp because he used his scanner. Darius has no clue that he's there, but Honey T-Bone is walking by, so we'll see if they can make something happen. He wins the smite. Can Orianna collapse on this Ivern, or are they going to get collapsed on by JMU? Here comes Honey T-Bone. Here comes Swammer. Here comes the whole crew. Leona's going in onto Honey T-Bone, but here comes the Swammer and Team Luke 1v1. Honey T-Bone going to try to help. He fails his flash, but he does get the root eventually. Swammer's going down to Diana. Honey T-Bone's going down, but they do get the Aphelios. Can Pleasant Plant clean this up? It doesn't look likely, and he does go down. So that's 3 kills for 1 in favor of JMU. Close fight there, and SVU did have good rotations, but you got to see that Orianna show up for that one.
Yeah, I think that was pretty key, that the Diana was so quick to rotate. And JMU mid laner, Spin for Penta has been pretty good about roaming real quick. So yeah, I think Orianna not showing up early enough there, it's just not a fair fight, and SVU loses.
Yeah, so, that was a close one there, but unfortunately, all those kills going over to JMU. We've seen what they can do with the lead last game, and we'll see what they can do now. They have a 2,500 gold lead here, but the solo lane's still going decently for SVU. It's just the bot lane with the jungle, all that madness. JMU just coming out ahead in most of these skirmishes, so it's not like SVU isn't in the right spot. They just need to get ahead in these skirmishes, need to get some advantages going for themselves so they can win some of these fights.
Yeah, a few missed hooks can make a big difference, huh?
Yep, here comes Darius looking for a gank here in mid. He does use the hook on the Leona, but it looks like Team Luke's just going to take down the Orianna. He is just too strong right now. He's got his Noon Quiver, and that's going to be a double kill for him. So he's looking to get online like he did last game, Josh.
Yeah, I think this Aphelios is set up to be a real menace. 1v1ing with Sivir a little bit here, see if Nautilus can show up in time.
Here comes Nautilus. He does get the hook into the pizza. Can he kill him? I don't know if he can. It's so close, but he is going to live. Still has the heal if he needed it. So SVU still looking proactive, but unable to get anything going. And this is where the hard thing about League of Legends is once you fall behind, it's very hard to come back. You still got to fight the enemy, but they just have more stuff and more stats. So looks like Spin for Penta though, getting greedy. Good ult there by 5-6-7-7. He does trade the kill back onto Swammer, and you gotta hope that Swammer just ran away there. I think he was dead. I think the Spin for Penta was dead either way. The classic Diana move, go in and try to get the kill, and he does get one.
Yeah, that being said, similar situation last time where there's a shutdown in play.
So definitely
SVU,
yeah,
SVU coming out on top in that particular situation.
Willy Wonka doing a good job here against the Mordekaiser. He has the Sheen, And there's a dragon take by SVU looking for more kills. This is the first objective we've seen them get in this series. Look for the kill on Ivan. Oh, the ult over the wall. Dunk Master. Can they get anything else? They got to get on the Aphelios. He is tough. He is strong. And there's the hook from Honey T-Bone. Fantastic hook by him. A shutdown going over to 5-6-7-7. This could be the turnaround that SVU was looking for. Double kill to the Orianna. And SVU's back in this game.
Yeah, huge hook there. Finally making it count. And that was fantastic. We can get the Dragon on SVU side as well. Love to see it. And just like that, a lot of the gold evens back up. Diana taking a little bit of action.
Diana misses the ulti. Can 5-6-7-7 get out? No, he can't. Oh, barely gets caught by the edge of that little Q there by Diana. Pleasant Planet looking to clean it up. Spin for Penta getting greedy here. Darius is a tough champion. I don't know who's going to win this. We're going to have to see who will. Darius does not have his ult, though. He's going to need it. And no, he can't quite get it. Darius without his ult. Very hard to win a duel. But Willy Wonka, can he get the Q? Can he get the Q? He might have to ulti for this. He might have to do something. He wants it so bad. Oh no, now he has to run. But he has oranges. Here comes Honey T-Bone. Now he's dropping the ulti. Can he get the hook? Yes, he does. But they can't kill Diana. She's gonna live. The cannon minion. No. So close there. And they want that Diana so bad. They want that shutdown. Just unable to get it.
So cool. I know. That just makes you want to scratch your eyes out. That was hilarious. Really sucks for us of you there. Red bar. Super tiny. But, you know, great efforts, I guess.
Yeah, and you got it. Oh, here comes Darius. He is pissed. Pleasant Plant does not want this game to end anytime soon. He's going in hard. He's creating this fight for his team. Here comes Willy Wonka. Here comes Honey T-Bone. Another hook on the Aphelios. He's doing a great job. Can they kill the Aphelios? Yes, they do. They get 2. And this is the SVU we wanted to see last season. They are down, but they're not out. Look at the plays. Look at how they're coordinating as a team. They lost game 1. They're down by a lot here in game 2, but look at the fight. Look at the scrap. They're creating plays, and that's 3 kills for nothing over to SVU.
Which is awesome, especially when you're behind like that. You can see even small trades, right, where, you know, sure, we lose, but you lose too. When you're behind from SVU's position, you can see that gold amount. The distance between the two teams, not nearly as big as last game, and having even been getting smaller over this game as well.
Yeah, counter flash there by the Orianna, but just this is why Diana is so annoying. If you're a mid laner, once she gets ahead, she can just go in with reckless abandon and just kill you for seemingly no reason. So unable to get out of that is 5-6-7-7. But let's take a look at this Darius here. Pleasant Plant doing a great job of just creating for his team. He has 6 deaths, which is a lot, but look at the assists, look at the kills. Like, he is involved in everything here for SVU. If he's not there, nothing happens. So he is really not putting his foot off the pedal. Willy Wonka gonna have to get out of this situation. Don't know if he'll be able to. Oh, there's a stopwatch, dodges the Q, but that's not a long cooldown. Willy Wonka's still fighting. Can he get the trade? I don't think so. If he could have dodged that last Q, he would have traded it back. Great effort there out of him, just not enough. So lives with a sliver is sightless. SVU looking to keep control over the south jungle. Here goes Pleasant Plant. He's not stopping. Swammer wants revenge on Team Luke. Here goes Pleasant Plant. He looks pissed. Can he get anything? And there's the dunk, and that's enough. Swammer with the pizza to the face. There goes Leona trying to counter it back. Does get the kill back. Swammer still hucking those things. Here comes 5-6-7-7. He can leave mid lane. Swammer on the run back. Diana with the flank. Does get the kill on Honey T-Bone, but can't get the kill onto Swammer. 5-6-7-7 going through a bad choke there. He's trying to poke. He's trying to get involved in this game. This is good by him, and that's another good fight for SVU. So they're going back and forth, and if SVU just gets some gold, they might have a shot, but that's a good ult there. Diana, the classic go in and kill you. You gotta respect it, and with those Ivern bushes, she can get the angles that she maybe couldn't get otherwise.
Yeah, a Diana cleanup is always something to watch out for, especially after a big fight where everyone's involved and on low health. But I know, like you were saying, I think that Darius being really the game changer in this game, where you've got the movement speed with the Ghost and the Chem Tech, where you can actually get on top of that Aphelios who's got all that gold and all that damage. And now, really, we're looking out for that Diana, I think, starting to run over this game.
Yeah, the Diana has gotten out of control. And in early game, 5-6-7-7 had the advantage in lane. It's just the roaming. It's the all-ins, and Willy Wonka's in a situation here. A lot of people up top lane. Not much he's going to be able to do there. So he's going to go down. One of the problems with Gangplank, is getting dove like that. He doesn't have any mobility, and sometimes you have to ult to wave clear to survive, but I don't think no matter what he did, he was surviving that. So
yeah, 3v1, that's just not fair.
But what we're seeing here, and here's another all-in by the Diana, and that is godlike for Spin for Penta. But what we're seeing in this game that we didn't see last game was they are trading objectives. So they may have lost top tower, but they did get the dragon. So SVU definitely, maybe they can get a soul, maybe they can play for that if they can stretch out this game. But they got to find a way to play around this Diana. They got to keep track of it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think SVU having that early dragon lead this game is kind of open that avenue where you can push for those extra dragons, even if JMU is topside, taking towers, taking all your jungle, getting a little dicey. Might be looking Pleasant Plant. We know how happy his trigger finger is.
Yeah, he's looking to fight. And we see the Medjais here for the Diana. So if they do get a kill, get that 700 gold shutdown, and stop the Medjai stack, that really could be a turning point in this game in SVU's favor. So they just got to be patient, look for a good fight, and keep farming up and stay relevant until that fight.
Yeah, and I think, you got some of these comeback objectives and getting rid of that gold lead at least a little bit, because we've seen how strong SVU can be as a team when they're all together. If we get a little bit more item built up, could make the next huge engagement game breaking for either team.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Swammer does have his Kraken Slayer there, but 2 items on the Aphelios, so it's going to be a lot of damage coming out of that Aphelios. Mid lane, we got the Ludens and the Dark Harvest for Diana, so item advantage definitely in favor of JMU, but SVU, if they can get a good team fight, if they can get a wombo, if they can keep the Diana at bay, they might be able to turn this fight around. Darius with the Chem Tank, looking to get in there, use his base damages. JMU dropping the Riptailed here in bot lane. Looks like a 5-man push, and this is smart if you're the side of JMU because they can't, they're feeling confident in any 5v5 situation. So if they can just force down an inhib, they might force SVU into a fight that if they win the game. So let's see what SVU can do here if they can stop this push and survive to keep trying to get those dragons.
Looks like they are going to hold out at least this wave. JMU pulling back a little bit in the South Jungle.
They did not have the confidence to go for that dive. They are setting up a trap here. Darius, he's looking to get that ward, but they're not committing to that. So, JMU showing a little bit of restraint here, just trying to starve out SVU by keeping their jungle under control, taking the blue buff, the red buff, all the camps, going to get the scuttles, and they're probably going to look to get this dragon if they need it. They might set up a dive here. We'll have to see if a pick, because, Honey T-Bone's been hitting the hooks now, so if he can hit a hook onto the Diana, onto the Aphelios, they might be able to get a pick before the fight starts.
Yeah, and like you said, he's got a couple really good shots, and if he can just find the right one in kind of an uneven fight, which really is, as you look at behind, or is behind in gold, that's probably what they're looking for, right? You want to try and get a pick before your next big engagement or something like that. To keep JMU from doing the big 5-mans that we're seeing here. Mordekaiser going up top, though. Just keeping pressure everywhere, really, really good.
Exactly. Here comes the Diana, but here comes the Exhaust. The Exhaust down a little bit late, but can they turn it around? Pleasant Plant backing off, so that's a lot of cooldowns used on both sides, but no kills going over. So a good defense there by SVU. And if Diana had to use his flash, so that's what we were talking about, Josh, where the Diana went in, wasn't able to get it, and he just misses the ulti there is the Orianna. That would have been a kill, and that would have been huge on the side of SVU. So that's flashes down on both carries here for JMU. SVU healing up, getting back in the fight. If they can go here, I think they can win this fight. They got to get in there. They got to get the team together. Here goes Tony T-Bone with the flash hook onto the priority target, but they can't get through the shield. It's too much. Pleasant Plant going in, gets the Leona, gets the reset. Can they get onto the Aphelios? I don't think so. Swammer, he's feeling confident. Another hook from Honey T-Bone. He can't miss. And there goes Swammer. Can he get the kill? It's not quite there. He doesn't quite have the damage, and that's going to be a kill going over 2 for 1. And there's the 3rd for 1. Got bopped was Swammer. Didn't have his spell shield. So a good fight there, and SVU so close to cleaning up those 2 priority targets in the Aphelios and the Diana, but just didn't have the damage.
Yeah, when the health bars are that low, you've got to think it takes the slightest lead to make that kind of difference. Really well played by SVU. Almost winning that unscathed. I mean, everybody's health bar was so low. They could have just nabbed those kills.
Yeah, and you got to think that SVU, they got to keep trying. You know, they're not falling any further behind at this point, but it's a mountain to climb to get back in this game. And here comes the Dragon. JMU might try to trade this for the Baron. This is only 3rd Dragon, so it's not like this is a huge advantage. If SVU gets it, it just puts them on Soul Point. So it looks like they are going to go for the Baron here, and this could be, you know, it is a free drag for SVU, so if they can stall this out to Soul, they might be able to turn this game around. But I don't know if they're going to be able to survive this Baron.
Yeah,
push.
stalling against the Baron can be pretty tough when you're behind, right? Especially when JMU's been doing as well as they have, keeping pressure spread to, you know, at least 2 lanes at a time. So they'll, you know, likely be able to capitalize on at least 1 inhib. But SVU has some pretty smart plays, especially playing defensively around their towers and stuff. So they might be able to hold this off again.
Yeah, Willy Wonka splitting bot side. He has TP, just trying to get some gold back, trying to get some experience back up for himself. He's fallen behind a little bit against the Mordekaiser, but that mostly has been team diff. The laning phase wasn't the worst on the side of SVU. So here comes the ulti out of the gangplank just to clear the wave. They do have decent wave clear. Pleasant Plant using his Predator, trying to get a hook. And SVU got their defenses set up, so we'll see if they can hold off JMU or get a favorable fight. Honey T-Bone looking for a hook, hits the wall though. That's not what you want to do. That was very unfortunate for him, and he's gonna go down. And that's one of the weaknesses here. But that is an overextension by the Aphelios. Team Luke goes down, so that's a great trade for SVU in the long run. So this might be a successful defense if they can keep holding this tower. 5677 has his 2 items. He's feeling good. If he can get a good ulti here. No, he already used his ulti, so he's going to have to try to wave clear without it, and I don't know if he'll be able to. So SVU is going to lose that tower, but they are poking the enemy down. Here comes Swammer back from the base. Can he get in there? Does SVU have any options to defend this? I'm not sure if they do, and they're going to back off. JMU, successful attack, even though they lost.
Successful attack. Yeah. Well played, well defended, I think, as best as you can. With the gold gap widening a little bit, even after Willy Wonka was able to get the bounty down bottom, which was an awesome play. Then wave clear, get back up. You love to see it. We got some resets happening. Pleasant Plant trying to stop some.
Yeah, he's looking for a play here, but it looks like he's just going into a 1v3, unable to get what he wanted there, and you got to keep fishing for those, but he wasn't expecting to see all those enemies.
Yeah, they were kind of waiting.
Oh, and here comes Diana, goes in onto the gangplank, and this is what everyone fears with the Diana pick, is if she gets rolling. Good ulti there by 5677 cleaning that up, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to stop this attack. With 2 down, good hook there, but there's no damage follow-up. So here comes Diana going back in. They just can't get through the shields. They can't get through the tankiness of the Diana, and with the fully stacked Medjais, she has just taken over this game.
Yeah, and you know, the Ivern's always right behind her, right? Keeping her alive, and with Daisy putting a lot of work in.
Yeah, giving her those extra dashes if he hits the root collar, you know, giving her the shields, the Daisy going in with them. So, you know, this team comp definitely snowballed here for the Diana, and an otherwise good-looking game for SVU just kind of got snowballed out of control because the Diana just became unstoppable.
Yeah, and that was the difference in this one. You love to see SVU's adaptation in this game, dealing with the Aphelios way more effectively than last game. Started a runway with it. SVU says no. We're going to stop him down. We're going to kill him here. We're going to take the pick, hit the hook. A lot of good stuff, but really well played by JMU. Going to take game 2.
Yeah. Good game by them, and a good series overall. I think that SVU had some. They definitely have some things to work on, and if they can get that figured out for next week, then they could be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. But that's going to be a 2-0 there over to JMU. But this is the College League of Legends tournament, and we will be playing every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. All changes and anything like that you can find on our Twitter, or not our Twitter, our Instagram rather, which you can see on our page at the end of the game. So, yeah. Any other comments, Josh? Anything you saw today that you wish they would bring out next week?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was really excited to see. I was a little skeptical of the Darius at first there from Pleasant Plant, but that turned out to be a lot of fun. I like to see it, and good adaptation overall from our boys. Kevin, I think we got some matches early next week. Are people gonna be able to find us?
Yeah, so you guys can tune in on Monday, 7 o'clock. We have a Rocket League match. That'll be streamed here. And then Tuesday at 7 o'clock, we have another League of Legends match with a different team here from SVU. So you won't be seeing these boys. You won't be seeing Willy Wonka, Pleasant Plant, Swammer, and the boys. But we'll have some new faces for you for that match. So please tune in on Monday and Tuesday for those matches. And please follow us on the Instagram for any updates to the schedule. Everything will be posted on there. And then you can find us again for this tournament will be next Saturday at 4. So we will see you all there. And that's us signing off.
See you.